afternoon. Happy Monday, Overthinkers. Welcome to Overthinking with Mackenzie. That's me. And Scott. That's him. And we cannot forget our incredible producer, Cade Murphy. He's sitting here somewhere.
Cade Murphy dressing up again for the show.
He always makes us look like crap. So
can we do a fit check on Cade Murphy right now? I see he has
tell
a
if you're
Florida.
being sarcastic or not. But
Nope, we are. I am being sarcastic and also want to do a fit check. I want to look at this Marlins hat. Let's look at this.
What makes this any worse than like just a flannel shirt, though? That's what I don't understand.
I'm not saying I didn't say it was bad. I said you dressed up for the show.
Condescending about it. You're clearly being condescending about it.
Okay,
Your
guys,
microphone is a little low.
We're fighting already, and we need to knock it off because the listeners, they're gone.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Sorry. Tune into YouTube if you want to see Cade Murphy's fit. He's got a nice manly jacket on over a very rugged. Cool. He does.
It's just like cool, you know. He picked out his outfit and it just works. And you know why? I think if I wore that outfit, not cool. Cade has cool face. So
I don't know. I think Mackenzie, I think you could pull off that look.
I think not. I think
one of these weeks we're gonna have a wardrobe switch day.
No. Okay. Yeah. You know, I'll never mind. I don't think I should say what I'm gonna say.
Hey, I'm a theater guy. I've worn women's clothing before.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you women, you guys, your clothes way more fun than men's. Way more fun.
In what way?
Well, to be fair, the women's clothes that you wear used to be men's clothes. Back in the Victorian era and whatnot. We love the high heels and the long coats and all these nice gloves. Men loved it, and then eventually you're like, you know what? This isn't very comfortable. Let's make the women do it.
Yeah.
But to this day, women, you guys get to do more layers and different types of cuts. For men, we pretty much we only got a couple options. But women, you guys got so many incredible options. I'm quite jealous, actually.
I wouldn't be jealous. Most of it's very uncomfortable. Fashion these days is very relaxed. I think after COVID, it was all the athleisure wear and stuff, and that's just kind of stuck. So that's good. But
I don't know. I kind of want to go. I hope there's a moment here, and this is going to require the younger generation to step back and be more formal. I kind of want it. There's a little bit of me that wants that.
I'm sure it will. Like when we get to Hunger Games type situation, which I believe is coming in our world, we're all going to be fancy jackets, heels, makeup, crazy. You know what I'm talking about, Cade?
Yeah, I think this is so stupid. My dad is always talking about taking my hat off at the dinner table. Who gives a shit? To be honest, like
it's tradition and it's respect.
Stupid. Tradition is dumb. It's stupid. If I want to eat with my hat on, I have the right to. It's so dumb. So dumb.
It is a.
I disagree, Cade. I'm sorry. I have to disagree.
Here's the thing about Homo sapiens and all human species.
Okay.
We love ritual. We do. It brings us together. And yeah, Cade is right. Actually, ritual, tradition. It's all bullshit. It is.
No, it's not.
But it's so valuable. It is one of the things that brings us together as human beings. And so, Cade, I would say that if you're at somebody's home and they have respect for the dinner table where they don't wear hats, you should probably go with that.
Let me say, I am a respectful person. So
of course you are.
I'm absolutely going to take my hat off if I go somewhere and stuff like that, especially if it's, not my place and everything like that. I'm just making an observation. I think it's stupid, but I will respect rules.
Yeah.
And anytime my dad tells me to take my hat off when we're out and about, I take it off because it's fair.
If Keith told me to take my hat off, I take it off too. Yeah. I'm listening to that guy. When he says something, he means it.
He knows what he's talking about. But
he does.
I just think it's stupid. That's all. Yeah. That's my only point.
Cade's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, it is stupid. These arbitrary cultural things that we do. And yet, as I get older, Mackenzie, I have to tell you that I'm pulled more towards those rituals. Probably it's nostalgia, but also knowing like when I'm gone and forgotten, the things that we still do together.
Yeah, like making sausage.
What
right? Is that where you were going
do you
with?
want to? Do you want to? Do people want to know how the sausage is made?
I don't think they want. I don't think they want to. But this weekend, I showed them a little peek behind the sausage curtain of how the sausage is made. So everyone's confused. This weekend, speaking of tradition and ritual, we got together. My family got together and friends of the family, and we made the Schmidt summer sausage recipe that has been passed down for years and years and years and years. Yep, look at that. We use the pork
Intestine?
intestines to yes, and that string right there. There I am. So okay, if you see that thing with the rope around it, the string around it, what's that called? Like a spool. That spool is over 50 years old, and we have been cutting the string off for over 50 years to tie on the ends of this sausage, the Smiths.
That is really cool. I know Cade will say that it's stupid.
Yeah,
But
Cade thinks my family tradition is stupid, and he hates sausage, and he thinks it's gross.
You guys are making me out to be a bad guy. No,
Yeah,
I don't
Cade,
appreciate it.
we would never. So yeah, I know.
So you use this 50-year-old string to tie knots at the end of the pork intestine, which you've just jammed full of what?
I don't know the actual blend because I don't get in on that part. No, it's secret. It's a Schmidt secret summer sausage.
Can you give me some
Pork,
overarching? It's like
and
cane
seasoning.
sauce, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's different seasonings. I'm sure there's mustard. I know there's mustard seed in there because you can. Oh my god, it's so freaking
What
good.
about the meat? What meat is in there?
Oh, it's pork. I think it's a combination of pork and beef.
Venison or
We don't put the venison into
No.
there is the
you don't know.
rings of the sausage.
You don't
No,
know
there's
what
there's
meat
there's
is
not.
in your meat tube. You're
There's
tying up
not.
meat tubes all day, and you don't even know what's in there.
I told you didn't want to know how the sausage is made. So anyway, yeah, this is a family tradition that I've been a part of since I was a little kid.
How do fellow overthinkers here on Iowa Everywhere get one of these rings of bologna?
Well, it's out of the smoker now. And so if you go back to that group picture, there's the smokehouse that we were all
How long
standing
do you
in front
smoke
of.
it?
Overnight. Yep.
Okay.
So they light a big old barrel of corn cobs on fire. They transfer those to the smokehouse that we were standing in front of, and they let that smoke all night. And it should have been good by probably 8 o'clock.
Are these going to be
yesterday
available
morning.
for purchase?
Well, no, they'll be on our freezer. So the next time we get together, I'll grab one from my
Can
freezer.
we do
and
a
I'll bring it to you.
taste test of
Absolutely.
your family sausage?
Absolutely. You can taste my sausage any day, Scott.
No.
Oh,
But your
why?
family sausage, I'll get a nibble of all of that.
You'll have to ask consent, I guess, but I'm sure they'd let you take a little bite of their sausage.
I'll have to say there is a nice curve to this sausage.
You know what? I would be lying
It's
if
got
I said
a U
thought
curve.
didn't cross. Well, yeah, the thought didn't cross my mind of all the curvatures and angles we've been talking about on this show lately. We're cursed with the curve.
Well, I mean, I'm not cursed with it.
It's a gift, right? Yeah.
Hey, Jeff is the J curve. Your answer is the one that matters the most on whether or not this is a curse or not.
Jeff's the G curve since his name starts with a G. I think we should.
How do you
Oh my
feel about
gosh.
me marrying to a Jeff that has a G instead of a J
I give
at
him
the
so
first
much.
letter?
I give him such a hard time about it, but it's not his fault, and so I don't really give his mom a hard time about it because so much respect, or his dad, But I have my feelings. I have my thoughts. It just makes
You
everything
don't
more
like your
difficult.
own husband's name.
I love his name. Yeah.
You just don't like the spelling of his name.
No, I think it's spelled in the coolest possible way for a Jeff, to be honest with you.
Geoff.
Geoff.
Yes.
Joffrey.
Geoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's
I
what
always
I
thought
like.
it was Geoff for a long time until someone was like, no, it's just
You
Jeff,
did
dude.
not. Did you really? I actually,
Like
you know what?
at a younger age, but
Oh,
yes,
No,
Geoff.
I think Kate. I think it's totally fine to think. I still think sometimes it's supposed to be pronounced Joff.
I'm sure it was, and I'm sure you'll tell us, and maybe that's what this week's Scott School can be. Oh, we simply must move on from sausage and Jeff's sausage.
I've been overthinking something.
What?
I have a really cool dog. His name is Atticus.
He's cute as
from
heck.
To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, he's named after the character Atticus Finch, not, yeah. And so me and Rachel, we were like, well, he's got this he's a sheepadoodle, so he's got that sheepdog in him. So we
Got that
had
dog in
for
him.
the winter, you grew out his coat. But I've never had that poodle hair before, that hypoallergenic type of hair before. And so I guess it mattered too much, and we went to get him a haircut, and now he looks stupid.
Did you give him the poodle cut? You did not.
No. So
Oh.
this is Atticus before the haircut. Like, he just liked being outside. And now this is how dumb my dog looks. Right here. Oh, I don't know if we have a special photo to show him after his stupid haircut.
I did not get that photo, Scott. I'm sorry. I did not see it in
It's
there.
all right. Well, if you sneak in there quick, maybe we'll come back to it, because now this ruins the whole thing. Anyway, he got all of his hair cut off. He looks stupid.
Does he have like the palms?
He's this small, and his confidence is completely waned. Honestly, I will tell you, I think I've seen a less confident dog than when he had his balls chopped off. And now he's just like, he's so docile, and he like hides, and I think he's cold.
Yeah, he's
Now,
cold.
but he's a big snuggler now, but he used to be a badass, and now he looks like a rat.
Does he have like the palms around his ankles and his
No, I'm not going to be like that. We
I'm
just
glad.
trimmed him all the way. Yes.
Oh,
Here he is. And there was some
he has
matting.
such long legs. Oh my gosh. I never would have known that without this haircut.
Yeah. He is so unhappy with us.
Oh.
But that's the life that I've been leaving over here.
But you know what?
It'll grow back.
It will grow back. And I feel like right after a haircut, we all have that awkward length, and it just has to grow out a little bit. He'll be fine.
Chris brings up the right comment. This is a mistake by Rachel and I. I've always had dogs that had normal dog hair, and so I didn't know how to take proper care of that poodle hair. We will do better. We'll be brushing him and making sure he stays nice and trimmed throughout the year. Maybe a little thicker in the winter, because he definitely. I want him to be a sheep dog. You know,
I'm a sheepdog, Mama. Well, I'm a hound dog. Saddest movie ever. Name the movie. One of the saddest movies ever.
Oh, I don't do animal movies where animals die.
The
Like
Fox
Lion
and the
King
Hound.
is out from Fox and the Hound. Yeah, no,
So
Bambi.
sad.
I'm out on. Old Yeller. I'm out on.
Did you ever see Marley and Me?
Oh, absolutely not.
I
No,
went
absolutely
to
not.
see that in a movie theater, and of course I was eating my popcorn like a hoss, and I was bawling, sobbing, and so the only thing I had to wipe my tears was the butter and salt soaked napkin that I was wiping my hands on all movie, and I came out of that movie theater and welts from the butter and the salt and the tear. Worst movie.
Yeah,
Ever.
I heard it's actually a good movie,
No,
but
it
I
isn't.
don't need to put myself through that. I know what it's like to lose a dog that you love, lose a dog that has given so much to your own life,
Mhm.
and the loss of it all. Oh,
No,
I don't need to see it. I don't. It's like 9/11 movies. I don't need to watch those. I remember how awful it was. I don't need to be reminded. If you're younger and you've never and you weren't able to experience 9/11, I made it sound like it was something you'd want. If you don't know much about 9/11 and you didn't live through it, you should watch those movies. Like, I will watch Holocaust movies because I think it's important for me to
Right.
have a better understanding
And we
of
don't
that.
want history to repeat itself.
And 9/11, I don't need, I remember that day. I remember, and I also remember that I think by late November, I was already making 9/11 jokes
Scott,
of
that's
2001.
sick. Of
I'm a big,
2001?
well, I really like doing the too soon jokes. I like to be the person who plants their flag first.
There's always one that's going to
Yeah.
do it, and unfortunately we're finding out that that's
And
you.
hopefully I'll never do it on, a recording. But anybody who knows me knows that I don't shy away from, what's the word? Morbid humor or
Dark.
badly
Yeah.
timed
Yeah.
humor?
Yeah, bad taste, tacky is maybe where I take it.
Tacky can be, yes, that could be right. That could be right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Before we move on to top topics, we have to give Colin Murphy a big
Yes.
shout out on his win this weekend. Oh, look, he's just exhausted. I fell asleep, obviously, during the fight, but woke up and that's the best thing when you're anxious about something and then you can sleep and then wake up to good news. That's the exact way I want to receive news, and that's exactly what happened here. To find out that he won. How's the vibe in the family right now, Cade?
It's really good, I would say. It was I don't know. None of this feels real, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like none of this. I feel like I'm in like a simulation or a sitcom or something at this point. I have no idea. I thought he was joking when he came to me and said he was going to box somebody, and then, a couple months go by and I'm watching Chris Williams and my dad on a live stream. A bunch of fraternity douchebags sitting around them and just
oh my god. It's incredible. So yeah, not only was this
amazing.
star born, Colin Murphy, and it's his birthday today, so shout out for his birthday.
yes, happy birthday to him.
Jenny, vibe is at an all-time high. It has to be. The vibes have to be just high running through the family right now. So Colin, and then from the moment I saw the first video of this young man named Matthew Weissman, I was like, I don't know. He is electric. And so we've been getting updates on him. And actually, I have a breaking update that I just want to say that Matthew Weissman, he's a very talented young man. He's open to work. He is currently in a band. We did some snooping, me and Maddie V. And so this fella right here, if
yeah, I feel like sometimes you see somebody who reminds you of who you could have been if you were that age these days. This is exactly something I would have done. How can I possibly make myself the center of attention and get me to be a ring announcer? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create an entire series of boxing for amateurs so that I can be this promo guy. I mean, it's a great idea, and he embraces this is exactly what you should be doing, and I applaud him greatly.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I did not know what to expect going into this, how in-depth the whole thing would be, and they did a really good job for what it seems they were working with and stuff. Like, it was electric. It was electric.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's still a lot, that wrinkles they can get out, but what you can't fake is the vibe.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Like so cute.
There's a WWE aspect to this, and you have to embrace it. And this Fight Night College Edition or whatever it's called is doing a good job. Look at this. Yeah, Colin. I have to say, Colin has come a long way from the training video that I saw originally. His footwork was bad. Now, a lot of those are just wackadoodle overhand and rights and lefts. But
the way they are just not stopping, my anxiety was raising.
I would have loved to see Colin go with some more body shots here instead of just kind of doing this. But there's some core here that he's got some good motions. It's footwork
beating the
mostly.
Shit out of each other. I love it.
See, right there, I would have loved to see him, go to the head and then just whap in the body a couple times. That guy would have crumbled with a liver shot.
Did you see the intensity in Colin's eyes? Like, there's no way he was walking out of that guy. He was not walking away with a loss. Like he was.
I've been on the receiving end of that, like in middle school. So no, I felt bad for Wenu a little bit.
Look at that, though. There was a body shot.
Look at his eyes. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Colin was able to throw a body shot in. The guy drops his hands. Colin goes right back up with the left hook. There's some I'd like to see Colin's next match.
I am like 95% sure I could hear Jenny throughout the entirety of the stream. I'm not joking. I'm almost.
He was excited. I bet that's what kept him going. He could hear her voice. He's not stopping.
I texted Jenny the next day saying, like, I know you sound like Marge Simpson right now. Like,
and that for me was my favorite part. Just seeing the looks on Jenny and Keith's face.
I know.
Pure joy.
Yes, this part right here. Oh my God, I love it.
So so fun, right? I mean, you can't, I don't know if you can get better than that. No, I'm not a parent, but I feel like just that pure joy that your kids can give you. Like if if Jenny was up there and did that, or Keith was up there and did that, they wouldn't have got as much joy as watching Colin do it. So that's pretty special.
I'd feel bad for whoever was fighting Jenny, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely. I would never mess with Jenny. She's gonna take you down. And that's a compliment.
Congratulations to the Murphy family.
Congratulations to your entire family. Let's jump into the top topics that we've been overthinking. So, story number 1, Blue Origin announces crew for New Shepard's 31st mission. So, this new crew has been announced. It's an all-female crew, and it will launch this spring with Aisha Bowe, Amanda, you're going to have to help me. I don't know how to pronounce
Amanda
that
Wynn.
last name. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Wynn. Gail King, Katy Perry, Carrie Ann Flynn, and Lauren Sanchez, which we know the last we heard from her, she was dressing like a hussy at the inauguration. So I'm glad she's kind of being a little more professional. She's
is Lauren Sanchez, is that Bezos' girlfriend?
Yes.
Kind of looks like Skeletor a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of which, new
Careful,
He-Man movie
careful.
coming out. Jared Leto as Skeletor. We're going to talk about that again someday. But
okay.
Lauren Sanchez, okay. Katy
Yep,
Perry,
Katy
who
Perry.
is at not a good point in her music career.
No, her last album was a big fat flop. You could say
Yes,
that.
and
with
you hope that
confidence.
the rocket doesn't emulate the last album.
Literally.
Amanda Wynn. I'm not familiar who Amanda Wynn is.
She, I believe, is more on the sciencey side.
That's
She's-
cool.
Yeah.
And Ashley Bowie
Aisha Bowe, same thing. I think she's a scientist.
and Carrie Ann Flynn
Not sure on her
Anything?
background. No.
and Gail King. I love
Oh.
Gail King.
Oprah's best friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So they announced on its NS-31 mission, and Lauren Sanchez kind of pulled this whole group together, and she is honored to lead a team of explorers on a mission that will challenge their perspectives of Earth, empower them to share their own stories, and create lasting impact that will inspire generations to come. So, would you go to space, Scott, if given the opportunity?
Hell yes. Hell
Yeah.
yes.
I kind of thought so.
Now I'm getting to this point in my life where you start, at least for me, you start to understand that everything is so fleeting. Even experiences are quite fleeting. And so then you're doing a risk analysis. And so I'd have to say, like, I would rather live for another 60 years than go to space instead of go to space and live one more year, if that makes sense. But if you could guarantee my safety, I would absolutely go. I feel like travel is one of the most important things our species can do to gain empathy and a better perspective of how small we actually are. And going to space and looking back and seeing how big the Earth is, and then being able to look out and be like, oh my gosh, there is nothing around us. We're just in this void of violent space. And that's it. We're just on a rock. And if you can get that perspective, I think that's a hopefully brings some humbleness to humans.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once you landed back down to earth and your feet hit the ground again, I think you would live your life differently to see it from that perspective. Hopefully. I mean, that's an incredible opportunity for one. I don't know how many people have gone to space and the history of going to space, but it's not that many.
No. But got to be under 100 at this point, I would think.
No. In space?
Yeah. 100 folks? How many
What?
people do you think total have been to space in the history of humanity? We got like 15 for the Apollo missions.
You know, no, Scott, you're wrong. You can Google, and it's a website called How Many People Are in Space Right Now, or something very similar to that. And you can see how many people are in space right now.
Okay. You know what? You're making a good point. My definition of space.
There's
and
people on the International Space Station
Earth
right now.
Orbit, or low Earth orbit is, yes. Of course, yes, there's people stranded on the International Space Station right now that
just
Elon
kind of-
Musk is trying to save.
How did we just forget about those people?
Yeah, they've just been up there for months and months and months, and
Oh, I feel so
we'll
bad.
get them back down at some point. But maybe it is over 100. But gosh, we've only been going to space since late 50s. I think maybe 59. And so it's not that long. Trying to think, there all the astronauts on the space shuttle. So maybe it is over 100, but it can't be more than 200.
All Gas, No Breakfast says over 600 people to date have been to space. That seems
Okay.
low to me, but
I don't. I feel like I don't know. It's like does it count as climbing Mount Everest if you just go to base camp?
for me, it would.
I don't know.
If I'm an influencer, I'm taking a picture of the mountain behind me, and I'm like, we just climbed Mount Everest, bitches.
That you just get a photo and you just go on from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Over 600. Well, that's great. I would love to see this to get into the millions, and it will.
Yeah.
What I'm more interested in is going to the moon. I'd love to be able to go there. And
Yeah,
then
I wish that we
eventually-
could finally do that because
We will. We just
haven't.
landed on the moon again. First private
Yeah,
landing
right.
in connection with NASA.
Yeah,
we just
right.
got back there. What do you?
No
Are
way.
you don't think we're on the moon right now?
No.
You think still the conspiracy is going on? Buzz Aldrin was clapping. He's 95. He watched the thing.
Yeah, because he's like, finally, they made the graphics look a little bit better for.
Don't.
I just-
Buzz Aldrin is one of my favorite Americans of all time. I will
Okay.
not take you rummaging through his name.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yes, I think that I would hope that we've at least made it to the moon by now with all the technology and
Well, yes,
stuff
we made
have
it to the
going.
moon in 1969 as well. So
Wink. Yeah, right.
you're the worst.
No, I think we did. Speaking of 95-year-olds, I'm glad that Buzz is still alive because Gene Hackman, unfortunately, is not. And the home that he, his wife, and dog were found dead in tested negative for carbon monoxide. So when this story first came out that he and his wife and his dog were found dead, everyone just immediately assumed, oh, it must have been a carbon monoxide issue. But that has been ruled out
Yeah.
as a
What's
cause.
going on?
So it just keeps developing. There's a couple neighbors, friends that he has down there that have said his health had been slipping in the lead up to his death. And that contradicts what his daughter has been saying. So his daughter was interviewed, and I think she's in her 70s as well. You think he's at 95. Anyway, she's saying he's healthy, he's happy, they exercise, they do this and that. Although I haven't been to see him in quite a while, because they live in New Mexico and I live in California, and that's just too far for me to visit. So she probably did it, in my opinion.
Whoa. Allegedly. Jeez
Allegedly.
Louise, Mackenzie. You can't
I
just
said-
throw out.
I said
You think this was a murder?
How could her neighbors say it was probably natural causes if all three, if the dog, the wife, and him are dead? That makes no sense.
The neighbors aren't necessarily saying that it was natural causes. They're just saying that his health had been slipping, and in recent times, they are not doing the bike riding anymore. So maybe they were a little more vulnerable.
Weren't they
to-
found dead in different rooms?
They were found dead in different rooms. There was no external trauma after the police completed their preliminary autopsy, but obviously there's toxicology and all that to come. I do believe his pacemaker last showed activity on the 17th, which would have been a couple weeks before they were found dead. Her body was found, I don't even want to get into the details, but it wasn't good.
No, well, she had, wherever she died very close to a space heater, we think, evidently.
Oh, shit.
And because of that expedited the decaying process. And so I think that's all I need to say, actually.
I think so. I'm not laughing.
Kate,
This is
can you
very
go
sad.
back to that first picture you had of, okay, so I'm a guy who gets cold sores, so I'm very sensitive to this.
Okay.
Do you think this is a photo of him with a healed cold sore on his upper lip?
I think it's a mole, and we just never see the mole because he always has this
Gene
rad.
Hackman does not have a mole.
You would never know because maybe he cut himself shaving. You could tell he has a very close shave here.
I went to the Bill Clinton Museum, Presidential Museum, and the interview they have at his Presidential Museum on video, he has a cold sore. I'm like,
It's a very stressful job to be president. I'm sure.
yes,
I'm
but
sure.
this was after the fact. And I get them, but you can't record or take photos when you have that.
So then I would say no. Gene Hackman, one of the best actors of,
His generation.
Yeah, his generation.
Also, not
gonna
very
be
handsome.
photographed.
That's how talented he was.
Yeah. Well, I think he had a handsome phase when he was younger. I saw a picture of him on the cover of a magazine, and he was looking kind of handsome. Did you know?
I love Gene Hackman. A great, great actor, but never been handsome.
He attended Storm Lake High School for a semester.
Storm Lake High School?
Yeah, Storm Lake High. Jeff told me that. Jeff's told me that for years because that's where Jeff went, obviously.
Have you verified this?
What?
No, you just taking your husband's word for it?
You think my husband would lie to me? You think my husband's out here lying to me? Absolutely not.
You succumb to the patriarchy so easily, Mackenzie.
Yeah, that's me. I just believe.
Somebody please verify. Not that I don't think that Jeff is, but I feel like I would have known this.
Honestly, if Jeff lied to me about that, that is grounds for divorce. So you better
Whoa.
hope that my family stays together and this fact is true. Because if not, I'm taking the house, I'm taking the kids, I'm taking the dog, and the 3 cats.
You just willy-nilly threw out, just in this segment about Gene Hackman, murder and divorce.
Listen. I take these things very seriously. I take my Gene Hackman lore very seriously. And I don't need anybody lying to me about that. You know what else I take seriously? The Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. Okay, Cade, thoughts on the Shamrock Shake from McDonald's?
I love the Shamrock Shake. I used to be much more into it when I could just drink an entire milkshake and go about my day. Like I didn't just drink an entire milkshake. I kind of have to plan for a milkshake now. Like I have to be like, I can't do anything after this for like a couple hours. I need time for a nap.
And those for you that are listening, this is coming from a 24-year-old. So if you're 42 and you think you can just drink a milkshake whenever you want, please listen to the wisdom of Cade Murphy.
Got you guys. I'm just saying, I don't feel like $1 million after drinking a milkshake anymore. That's all I'm saying, man. Yeah. I used to be able to just slam them.
Yeah.
But no, like every time this came every year, like my parents would go out of their way to make sure I get one every year. I'd usually get a Shamrock Shake and then go home and watch the NBA All-Star game back when it was good. But it hasn't been good for 10 years. But
I've never had a Shamrock Shake.
Oh,
Scott,
what?
you're kidding me.
Is it mint flavored?
Yes, it's so good. Okay. It's so good.
It's really good. It's
Plus
really
they've got green dye in there that's just so
I
healthy for you.
I live a block away from McDonald's, so maybe I could try one of these.
Yeah. You, Atticus, Rachel, should go for a walk this afternoon. Enjoy the good weather. Run on down to McDonald's and grab yourself some Shamrock Shakes. That sounds like a really nice afternoon.
You guys are making me want one.
Yeah.
I've also never had a Big Mac.
I have not either.
There's better burgers out there.
Yeah. Maybe we could do it. There's another. We're going to have to do just like a overthinking taste test episode sometime.
Absolutely.
There's just so many things that I want to try for the first time.
McDonald's is the sponsor of the show. And once they do, then I'll eat 10 Big Macs if you ask me. If you
enjoy McDonald's being the sponsor of this show.
Okay, I need to know, like, who is this? Because I'm not caught up on my McDonald's lore, I don't think.
Yeah, well, exactly. You wouldn't be. So the Shamrock Shake is back, and it brought Uncle O'Grimacy with it. So, Scott, do you remember
What's his name?
Uncle O'Grimacy.
Uncle O'Grimacy, is it?
Uh-huh.
Does he have an Irish accent?
Well, I would assume so, yes.
Well, you can do an Irish accent yourselves, can't
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph,
but
I
didn't know it. Well, I'll be...
surprises. Anyway.
I'll get a Shamrock Shake. Yes, tell me about this gentleman. What's his... Flattery?
Do you remember... O'Grimacy. Do you remember all the characters back in the 80s, 90s that McDonald's used to have?
And at the Carroll McDonald's, they had like actual statues of these things.
Yes, there's one that I know we drove through on the way to a vacation, and it had a stage because they had like the midnight characters. It had a stage. There were performances. Unless that's a fever dream, I'm pretty sure that's
I don't
real.
think I ever saw animatronic McDonald's characters, but I did see life-sized... Whatever that means. I guess these are all, they're not real, so I don't know what life size is.
Right.
But live action sort of these big, and they would be strewn about. I think all of the McDonald's had them back in the day when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I know a few of these characters, man. I knew.
Do you?
I know Grimace, of course. I don't know if you remember the Grimace trend when people on TikTok were ordering the Grimace shake, and then it would cut to them drenched in head to toe in purple milkshake, and that's the trend. I don't know. It's weird.
Kids
it's
are
like,
nuts. You kids are absolutely
It's
nuts.
a very Gen Z trend for sure. I know the Hamburglar because that's just a stupid concept and it's funny.
Come on, stupid. Exactly.
But stupid in a good way. Stupid can be
stupid.
good.
There's more tradition that Kate hates. Okay, keep it rolling, Kate.
Come on, man. It's good, stupid. Scott nailed it. And then I went to the actually the world's biggest McDonald's in guess where?
I'm gonna guess Las Vegas.
That's a good guess. No, Orlando, Florida.
Oh hell yeah!
And they have like this moon-faced man on a piano.
Yes.
And I thought that was kind of cool, kind of interesting.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the guy who was up on this stage. Maybe that's where I was on a family vacation when I saw this. It was the moon guy.
Yeah.
And he had the piano, and he was up on a stage.
I did some research into it because I was like, this is weird and like doesn't seem like in McDonald's like marketing scheme based on like what I've known growing up and stuff. And yeah, I think it was a sort of an attempt to get more adults to McDonald's, and his name was Mac at Night. So they're trying to get, I think, people to McDonald's at nighttime.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's when like the drive-through started to open and things like that, and they were getting more adults in there because prior to they had created this fictional world of all these characters to appeal to kids because they wanted to get more kids in there. So,
Happy Meals.
Ooh, I know the hamburger man. That's Mayor McCheese. Right.
Oh, yes.
And I only know this because there was a Family Guy scene when I grew up as a kid where they replaced, this is bad, but they replaced John F. Kennedy in the car with Mayor McCheese.
God. Jeez. I'm looking at my Killing Kennedy by Bill O'Reilly book right now, and I'm just picturing.
No, it's terrible. And I think Jackie O is like scooping up hamburger and eating it. It's terrible.
No,
God.
No. It's terrible.
That is rough. That is so rough. Holy hell. So fun fact about the Shamrock Shake, it was invented by a McDonald's franchise owner in Connecticut in 1967 and added to the menu in 1970. So that is a little Shamrock Shake background and a little, I remember these guys, and I didn't think that Cade would, but Cade did remember them.
Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, go.
I don't know who the top left gal is, and I remember seeing her as a kid. I think it was.
Same here.
Because I went to McDonald's a lot in like 2007, 2008, around that time, you know.
And you were like in diapers? Yeah.
Yes.
What?
But
awesome. Very cool.
I think they still had, I wouldn't be in diapers by then. I just let that pass. I should not have. But I think it was like right in the middle of them, like kind of coming to the end of all the mascots and stuff. So they had a bunch of the, like paintings and murals in the restaurants and stuff and still. And I recognized the top left gal, but I have no idea who that is or what that is. But
I recognize her too, but I don't know her name. But
this is the whole family right here.
There they are. Look at them. So this is definitely the 80s right here, or early 90s, late 80s, early 90s here. So yeah. It brings me back. Oh my, the McDonald's.
Yeah, you could go there and you could just look at all of these crazy, kind of demented statues. And where there won't be demented statues, though, is on Saturday, March 15th. Circus Sports Iowa is doing a Wellman's watch party for the Big 12 Championship with Iowa Everywhere.
Heck yes.
Van Winks will be there. Some guy named Handsome Siepker, Keith Murphy, and more of the Iowa Everywhere team will be there. They'll have exclusive Circus Sports Iowa merch, great prizes. We'll be giving away some stuff, not to mention free drinks when you sign up for the Circa Sports Iowa app. Iowa State fans team is playing great. Will you be in for the championship? Iowa fans... I don't know what to say on that front, but join us, Wellman's Pub Rooftop, Wellman's Pub and Rooftop in West Glen on Saturday, March 15th, beginning at 6 p.m. Download the Circus Sports Iowa app today.
That sounds like a good time. That sounds like a really good time. You should get out there. Hopefully the weather will be agreeable. You can get out there and say hey to everybody. And it sounds like there's going to be some good merch there. And Chris Williams says it's good quality merch. It's not that Gildan. Like, I know Kate's
ironable
favorite
t-shirt.
Yeah.
We also have an update on the name of the bird. It's Birdie the early bird. So there you go, guys.
Cute. I love that. And also, I am very happy to say my marriage is going to stay together because there has been a class photo on Facebook showing Gene Hackman in the Storm Lake class, listing him. And he attended his sophomore year. So I'm really happy that my husband and I can continue this solid relationship that we have built.
I can't believe you doubted him.
Not for a second.
Okay, guys. Kenzie, being the social media master you are, is there a social media trend that you absolutely have despised?
Crying on camera. Just crying on camera.
Oh, just that as a whole?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's not necessarily a trend, and I will think about a more specific trend, but the setting up your tripod, aiming it towards you, and then proceeding to cry, filming that, putting it on your phone and hitting like post, I just can't. We all go through sad times. We all have those private moments. Leave it private. Do not put it out there. It's mental. It's sick.
Yeah,
must be a big Selena Gomez fan.
Ugh. She deleted that most recent one.
She does it every couple months.
It's wild. It's
just
crazy.
How much you need attention is revealed in those moments.
Oh.
My answer to this question is going back a few years, but it was the ice bucket challenge. Yeah. People masquerading around this look at me attention by trying to raise money for, what was it, ALS?
Yes.
For Lou Gehrig's disease. It's like, no. None of you care about this disease. All you want is this opportunity to get the likes and the comments. So I'm going to start pouring water on my... There were some people who had to pour it on themselves because none of their friends would do it for them. It annoyed me to no end. And yes, it did good, quote unquote. You know what? Sometimes there's not enough good that was done to overtake how annoyed I am by people.
No, that's a good one too. And you had to do that and then donate. And I remember doing it because you would have to be nominated. So you had to be nominated. And then if you didn't do it, you looked like the asshole by not doing it. And so then you did it to yourself and then you had to do it. And I remember I did it and it was like 2 weeks later. I'm like, oh, I never did it. And the guilt ate me alive. So I obviously did go donate. But it's not like money was generated just by pouring the ice on your head. Then you had to go donate the $5. And who wasn't doing that? I'm sure half the people.
Oh, at most.
Oh, man.
Anyway. For me, I would say this was a COVID challenge, so it was really stupid. It was the milk crate challenge when people were building these milk crate stairs, and the goal was to run up them and down them without them falling.
Yeah, I remember how dumb that was.
I don't even remember that one.
Yeah, super stupid. I never understood that one. Okay, on to the next one. Scott, you're our history buff on the show. Who is a bad guy in history that actually wasn't a bad guy?
Man, I want to do a whole show that's this. Here's the thing about bad guy and good guy. It's always gray area. It just depends on what side you're on. You think of like Benedict Arnold being a traitor to America. Well, if he would have guessed right and the English would have won, which it looked like they were going to, he would have been seen as a hero. So who is a pretty objectively seen bad guy that is really a good person or was not so bad? Gosh.
That's a great question.
It is such a good question. Mackenzie, do you have one? I really want to give a good answer here. Gosh, it's so hard because recently in my brain, I'm trying to think of some names. If I throw them out, though, like say you throw out like Ronald Reagan is hated by a lot of people, but he did his ability to communicate did bring America, unite us in a way that was, I think, good. But there's so many other bad things. I have a hard time. Like Hitler's like really the only one of the few guys I'm like, that guy is so bad. you know what? I don't want to give this answer yet.
Okay,
Oh.
can I ask you who is a person that is perceived as bad throughout or a person that is perceived as good throughout history but was really bad? Do you have
Mother
one of those?
Teresa.
What's your
Why?
Listen, Mother Teresa. Okay, no, this is gonna. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
I'm
shouldn't
gonna-
go down this.
Yeah,
I should not. I shouldn't go down this path.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
man.
No, you have to now because you said it.
Listen,
So you
Mother
need to-
Teresa
Okay.
is regarded very highly.
Yeah.
But if you just want to peel back and just say the amount of time she told people to pray instead of get help from like medical help, that to me is not okay.
Right.
And
if it was
you know,
available to them.
And
they
this is the
should've-
same
yeah.
thing. You know, like I did a whole documentary on Niall Kinnick, and he's was a Christian scientist, and they believed in faith healing. Okay, and he didn't want to fix his ankle when he got his ankle hurt by a doctor because his family did not believe in that. That to me is not good and
Right.
should not be celebrated. And so that's why I go with. I said Mother Teresa. Okay, we're going with it.
Okay.
Can
Well,
somebody be bold out there?
The one that came to my mind was Thomas Edison because I did a lot on him as a kid for projects and stuff, and yeah, he was kind of a jerk. So that was
Oh yeah,
my
Henry Ford.
that was
I
my
mean,
thought.
here's the thing: is you go back far enough, not even that, but if you go back 100 years, any great person was probably severely racist, like really,
Yeah.
or anti-Semitic, or really hated gay people. Like it's such a presentism is something that we debate. Is like how much do we take present standards and judge those in the past?
Bill
That's a
Burr
great
did a
point.
really good bit on John Wayne that reminded me of all that you just said.
Yes, John Wayne, not a man who was born for this time period. And you know what? That's why he's dead.
Well, I have a framed picture of him over here, but I'm going to take it down if you guys think he's problematic.
Oh, he's definitely problematic if you're in liberal bubbles. But if you don't care about that,
If you're
then
aware
John
of the
Wayne is
times.
just fine. He is one of the great American actors of all time. One of those people that should be highly regarded for his output. But yes, if you're looking for 2025 in-depth, empathetic opinions, you ain't gonna get it from John Wayne in the 1970s.
Okay.
Okay, guys,
Fair.
one more. Run through this really quick. Is there anything that some sort of invention, something that just makes you completely perplexed? Like, how the hell did someone figure this out? Mine is Bluetooth. I have no idea how it works. I have no idea how they figured it out. It blows my mind. And yeah, Bluetooth is crazy.
Bluetooth is nuts because tell me why when you are no, sorry, that's not Bluetooth. It's just like when you're on, this is something that stumps me. You're on your phone, you're on a FaceTime call, you're playing music, but the person on the other side of the FaceTime call cannot hear the music. What is that?
That's crazy.
I think that's proof of our simulation, honestly, because that does not make sense.
that's a good one. That's a really good one, actually. I
Mine
have thought that before.
doesn't make sense, and this is not modern technology. And I have looked into this, and I think I can explain it, and I still don't understand it. How a vinyl record player makes music.
That's a good one.
I
Yeah.
just I get it, and from like you can explain it to me, and the divots and all the way that the needle bounces through, and the width and the depth, and all of that makes a different sound. But music is so complicated, and vinyl is able to replicate those sounds over and over and over again. It's fascinating to
No,
me.
that is so crazy. And along those same lines, photography. How I get how it works, and I get how but how did they figure that out?
And
Who
especially
sat
for
there?
like, yeah. Well, especially for how long both of those have been around. Like, it's
Right.
crazy they figured that out way back then, too. Like, that makes it
Right.
even more kind of crazy.
See, I can follow in my head. I can follow how we went from, paintings to photos. I feel like I can see that. Where I can't see it is, and I guess that makes sense since we're talking about audio. I don't understand how somebody was like, I'm going to capture this sound that's coming out of my mouth here, and I'm going to put it onto a artificial disc
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
We're going from audio to 3 dimensions. I don't get it.
I know. I was out walking the dog the other day and I was thinking about what you said, Scott, about how the world is scary, but it's not scarier than it was 100 years ago. 20, and I was like, okay, I'm going to think about this positively. And I was walking the dog, enjoying nature. And I'm like, things are coming that we cannot comprehend. And that's okay. And at one point, yeah, there was no music. There were no photos. There was none of this. I'm sure that just blew
No antibiotics.
No antibiotics. Definitely no
No-
AI.
No pain medicine.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I want to know who was the first person to discover cows make milk. Like, what made you decide to go and start
He was
yanking
a
udders?
sick little freak.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I'll
all I
tell you,
gotta say.
that is going back before we were even, humans. I think Australopithecus, our common ancestor, was able to drink the milk of other animals. That might be wrong, but it's pretty early on that I think that we were able to drink goat's milk and cow's milk.
Well, you see the young doing it, so you know it's not poisonous. I mean, you know it's there. But yeah, I want to know who taste tested it first.
But
I
now
guess
that I think about it, maybe it wouldn't be until about 10,000, 12,000 years ago when we started to really domesticate animals. Great question. I'm gonna research that, Kate. I want to find out how long has it been that humanity has been drinking milk of other animals, and do any other animals do that?
Well, I know
Question
that
for next time.
we drink dairy and we're not supposed to drink dairy. Like we're not supposed to do that. But we will
Well,
talk about that next
I don't
time.
know about. I don't.
We're not. We're
I don't
not.
know if
We're not
that's
meant
exactly how I'd say that.
to. We're not meant to. Okay. Let's pop on over to Pop Culture Corner. And last night, the 97th Academy Awards happened. They were boring. My highlight was that Conan O'Brien hosted for the first time. I love Conan O'Brien. I think he's brilliant.
He's the
I think he's
best.
one of the
He
top
is.
best.
He is.
I listen to his podcast every week, so it was so funny to kind of see some of the same jokes and bits that he pulled throughout the hosting. I don't know. I think he could have gone a little harder. He didn't. That's okay. I do think he did a good job, and I don't know if it's him or the Academy. I think he did a good job of kind of shedding some light on some of the behind the scenes players, the lighting, the costumes, some of those people. Yeah. And I don't know if they do make such an effort to do that, but I felt like he was very intentional in doing that. So I appreciated that. But I just love Conan. Did you watch, Scott?
No. I want, one of my goals is to win an Oscar, and I have unfortunately not even been able to watch very many of the movies the last couple of years. I used to be the guy who was going to the Varsity Theater and watching every single Best Picture nomination on the big screen, because it still pisses me off today that voters for movies get sent to their house. DVDs are now digital downloads or whatever it may be, and they watch this movie in the house.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I'm glad. Like,
Doesn't hit the
most
same.
movies are going to be consumed in that way. But if you're judging these for the Academy of Motion Pictures, you need to be in a theater. You have to
agree.
watch it there. It's like trying to judge the NFL scouting combine by going to MLB spring training. It's a different entity when you're watching it on the small screen. That's why TV is called the small screen. So I digress, but that just annoys the hell out of me. But I look forward to the day when I can get touched back in and hopefully maybe be nominated for an Oscar.
You will be. You will be. So the big winners last night, Honora won the Oscar for Best Picture. Its star Mikey Madison took Best Actress. And I think
Legitimately, I had not heard of this movie until this moment. Never heard of this movie. Never heard of it.
It's interesting. I think it's
I'm
about
so out of touch.
a sex worker and a Russian guy, and you'll have to watch the rest. I have a question.
This is how I spend most of my time.
I wanted to ask you about the Hoodoo Project, by the way, and we will do that as soon as we wrap this up. Okay.
We don't have time.
Well, okay. Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist, okay?
Yep.
And remember it was probably a few weeks ago, we talked about him using AI for his speaking parts.
Yeah, for
they
his
helped
accent.
AI. Yeah. So he won. And do you think it's fair that he won over like Timothée Chalamet?
And I also I don't at all. I don't understand how that's not a bigger deal. especially with all the union striking and things that have gone on with trying to fight AI. We're just going to let this go.
I know,
No,
that's crazy.
part of the performance is being able to get the accent accurately. If you cannot do that, that needs to be taken in to the judging. Now, maybe I haven't seen this performance. Maybe this performance is so good that even that still makes him the winner. But you cannot do this. It frustrates me so much.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I would be rioting. I would be burning the place down if I was Timothy Chalamet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he deserved better.
He did.
Doesn't really bother me that much. I'm more bothered by his. Did you watch his acceptance speech and everything? It was awful.
I have heard the feedback that it was not good, and people were saying to sit down and basically shut up.
He basically, like, the first part of the speech was great. He was thanking everybody. He then, they start to play the music after he was talking for 2 minutes. He said, "No, I'm not done yet." Then proceeded to talk for another 2 minutes just about himself. And it was incredibly painful to watch. And he's just clearly, like, the most like, everyone, I follow, like, a bunch of gossip, like, Hollywood gossip pages, and everyone talks about just how pretentious and insufferable he is.
Ew, I don't like that.
And I fully believe it based on his
like that
acceptance
at all.
speech. I think Ralph Fiennes should have won, to be entirely honest, for Conclave. He was incredible in that movie, and there was reports coming out that a lot of people in the Academy didn't vote for him for Conclave solely because they thought he had already won an Oscar for Schindler's List, which he didn't. Fun fact.
Oh, okay. That shouldn't
But
be.
But Adrian Brody also has an Oscar, right, for The Pianist.
That is correct, sir.
I'm telling you, Hollywood is so out of touch. It's crazy to me. And this is my industry. This is my baby. And I'm just flabbergasted by how they continually do stuff like this. It's not that hard. It's just they're stuck in their own bubble.
Yeah, they are stuck. They are stuck in a bubble.
And we're going to, you know what? And once Hoodoo hits and I start getting to make the movies that I want to make, I don't know, we'll probably never nominated for an Oscar, but I sure hope that we're going to bring authenticity to the roles.
I believe in you, Scott.
I believe in you too, Scott.
We're not going to have time to hit our second story, so let's hit one of our Overthinking in the Wilds, submitted by Alyssa for kids' birthday parties. Kenzie, you're the most versed in this, so.
Yes, and actually Hayes turned 7 in 2 weeks, so I have been kind of in this right now. Kids' birthday parties are so easy to overthink. What do you want? Do you want to take them somewhere? Do you want to host at your house? Do you want to have the kids' parents drop them off? Do you want them to stay? We have opted to do this little thing in town where there's a bouncy house and mats, and kids can just run around for 2 hours and burn off their energy. And I think that's going to be a good choice. We did that last year, but it's hard. I asked
Mackenzie, I think you're getting Adrian Brodied right now. You're getting played off the show.
No, I'm just.
You got 1 minute.
We've got 1 minute until Murph and Andy. Kids' birthday parties. Don't overthink it. It's just they're turning 7.
I was gonna say you hit it on the head. When I was 7, my parents took me to Backyard Adventures, which is an indoor, just big industrial indoor building with a bunch of swing sets inside it, and best memories ever. So you hit it on the head.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We asked no gifts, just fun. We're gonna have some pizza, and it's just gonna be a good time. And Murph and Andy's gonna be a good time, and I had a good time with you guys today, as
felt like
always.
It breezed by.
And you did,
really
and
did.
Just want to give a shout out and thank you to the Kuberski brothers. Right now, pre-emergent application. Get it in before the end of March. Go to KuberskiBrothers.com. They have a full line of weed control and lawn fertilization. Dang 'em Kuberskis. KuberskiBrothers.com.
I needed them yesterday when Jeff decided to light our yard on fire. Would have loved some input from the Kuberski brothers.
I wish we would have got to that. That was amazing.
Well, thanks everybody for having us. And, as we always say, I hope your favorite bands stay together.
And I hope